by businesses, forcing the business's hands to do what they don't want to do. And in the end, who loses? It's consumers themselves that lose. And this leads to things like window dressing and just doing things to impress consumers, to say, yes, we are green, but really we're not. Yes, we are doing this just because the government tells us to do this, but really there's skeletons behind the closet. And then my second point, to external versus internal. And this point really wasn't addressed by the government. The government side. The government in and of itself is only one entity in a huge sphere of businesses, consumers, competitors, and everything. Everything works together as a whole. We cannot separate organizations in and of themselves from all these other entities. So when businesses scan their environment, when they come up with their own strategy, they look at all these things into effect. They take government regulations, they take activist concerns, they take consumer concerns, they take what's good for the bottom line, they take what their competitors are doing, they put it all together and they devise a strategy. They move forward with everything in mind. It's not that they one thing versus the other. So this is where the line is blurred. What is actually external to the business? What is actually internal to the business? In our global society today, it is very hard to come up with regulations that are good for businesses across the board and to see where these lines are drawn, the external versus the internal. And finally, our main point in this, and that the reason that outside pressure is not the way to make meaningful change in society, is that incentives have to be created for businesses. Who are the drivers? Who are the main parties affected? We see that consumers are the drivers. We see that competitors are the drivers. We see that business associations are the drivers. We see that the very people themselves that work for these corporations, the very people that sustain these corporations and subsist within this corporate world are the drivers themselves. If we want real meaningful change on sustainable actions, it's these very entities themselves, the customers, the employees, that have to walk the walk and talk the talk. They are the drivers behind this. Businesses will respond. If there's a demand for greener goods, if there's a demand for products that are created with sustainable business practices, businesses will respond. And in this aspect, we see that as more a collaboration than a pressure. As my colleague pointed out earlier, there's inherent problems with pressure. Pressure in itself is antagonistic. Pressure in itself is forcing your hand to do what you don't want it to do. So the best way to move forward in this is that the businesses themselves have to work in collaboration with all parties involved. The social stigma of carbon emissions grows stronger each day, and as the stigma grows, companies are increasing their investments into research and technology to reduce and store carbon. Ultimately, purchasing carbon credits is an incentive to burn even more fossil fuels, since it is now done under the illusion that it's really cost-free to the atmosphere. Thank you.
Very interesting debate thus far, ladies and gentlemen, but we strongly feel that this side of the house has failed to come here and address the issues that we brought and said, this is what we want to debate. What they didn't come here and do is play on the terms that you said that we want to play on the oil industry. Instead, they wanted to come here and talk about the body shop. Yes, okay, well, that's something else that we can debate, but here, we're talking the oil industry, and that is the big issue. Let's leave the small fish alone, let's deal with the big guys here. Now, what I want to do here, firstly, just go through what we said as proposition when we came here and said, this is what we want to do, and this is why we believe that outside pressure works. And I'll also show you what the opposition came and tried to do here. And I want to summarize this debate and show you where exactly the key issues lie here, and where we feel that we should be taking this debate because we've addressed these issues that we sent out here to come and do. So what we came here and done is we rather clearly came here and defined the motion to make sure that this debate is going in the direction that we wanted. We made it clear. Right? And so we wanted to, that's the first thing we did, we made it clear we want to go, and we were hoping that opposition would hop on board with it. Secondly, we came here and we said that we must be realistic about the fact that corporations are about the bottom line. We are business school students. We must understand that. Let us not try and fool ourselves and think that no, corporations will always act in the best interest of society. That's why we have governments. That's what we call externalities. That has not been realistic, and this is what this side of the house came here and tried to portray. We also came here and we showed exactly why we need that intervention from government, and without that, there will not be any meaningful progress towards trying to get these oil companies to move towards investing in machinery that is more green and sustainable. Now lastly, and possibly one of the most important points in this debate, is the fact that this side of the house failed to acknowledge the type of product that oil is. That oil is an inelastic good. That in as much as consumer can sway products, I mean for Body Shop for instance, yes, you can go next door and buy other products that are more sustainable of your choice. But with oil, this is not the case. And the thing that must be understood here is that consumers don't have that information as to how is this oil produced. Is it really, can we really rely on companies and information that we get that they are being green and they are being efficient? No, we can't. And this is what we're saying, that we need greater government intervention in order to see these companies move towards being more green. Opposition came here, first speaker came here, and almost went to saying that, you know what, business is evil. Or rather, this is what they said. We were saying that business is evil, that profit is evil, that we're all about the good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're business school students. It's about the profit, and we all know it. But what they came here and said that they were trying to put these words in our mouth that we're saying business is evil and oil is bad. No, we didn't say that. We're just realistic about what a business is about, and this is what we're saying. The second issue that they brought on here, which I will elaborate more in closing this debate, is this issue of the fact that demand can really drive companies to move towards being efficient. And yes, again, we're saying this may be the case for small little items like the Body Shop, things that there are really a lot of alternatives involved in it. But let's understand economic theory here, that we're dealing with the oil industry. I will try and entertain, to some extent, this issue of demand-driven, and also in other sectors try and show why it is not always the case that as consumers we cannot always have that power to drive the product. The third issue, which I feel it really does deserve us to really entertain, was brought on by the third speaker, and is that issue of the fact that taxing doesn't work. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they came and gave us a statistic, which of course we must address, that the United States was able to reduce their emissions by 1.6%. Yes, but that was in 1 year. Let's look at what happened in 5 years, ladies and gentlemen. That in that 5 years, it shows that in fact there was an increase. So this side of the house tried to distort facts so that they can come and show that taxes doesn't work. If taxes didn't work, why is everyone around the world using taxes to try and get consumers to ship? And this is exactly what we're saying, that here, government intervention through such a system like tax, that we will get these oil companies to move towards being green and efficient. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty of what this debate was about. This debate boiled down to government versus employees and demand driving these companies to move towards being efficient. And firstly, and this is what I've kind of touched on, and I'll just slightly entertain it again, is that this side of the house failed to understand the nature of the product that we are dealing with. That we were not dealing with small things that they came here and gave examples of. But ladies and gentlemen, we were dealing here with oil. The fact that oil is an inelastic good. That was a core part of what we tried to define and what we were debating. And they failed to come here and address that. The second issue, which again deserves to be entertained, is the fact that they came and said that companies will just move towards being efficient and will go towards being environmentally friendly and all that. What they failed to acknowledge is that companies are businesses. And so technology, investing in technologies that are green, is expensive. And President Bush acknowledged this, and it's the key reason why the United States did not come on board with the initial Kyoto Protocol. It was because Bush went outright and said that technology is expensive, that this is an expensive thing to sign. So yeah, technology is expensive. But now what they've come in and done is they did not acknowledge that fact. They came in and just assumed because there's demand out there for it that companies are always going to go on board. And this is a fallacy, it's false. It's not really the case. Thirdly, and rather quickly, they came here and said that business will respond to consumer demand. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not always the case. Let's look at what consumers base this information on. What you hear about companies being green is not always true. And so your choice that you're making is not always to say that you're supporting a green company. This is again corporations operating in the way they do it. That's why we need government intervention. Thirdly, I want to show this issue that employees can drive a company is false. that yes, maybe in some instances, but let's look at the classic case of Enron, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, those were employees, but what did they manage to do? They managed to distort the system, they managed to, they're now written down in books